My melanoma is a very rare melanoma that was on the roof of my mouth. And it was discovered on a routine visit to my dentist. He told me that people often have pigmentations on the roof of their mouth and not to worry too much, but this was looking like something that he wanted to get a little more information about. So I went to my oral surgeon, Michelle, who did a biopsy, and again, who assured me that people have pigmentations in their mouth all the time and this could be nothing. But when I came back 2 weeks later to get the biopsy results, she said, "Jimmy, I've done this a million times and no one's ever had cancer before, and you have cancer." But I think I immediately switched into, okay, what are we gonna do mode? Because what she told me was the cancer is very aggressive and we had to take it out immediately. So after the surgery, then the question was what to do. Oral mucosal melanoma has very little, well, there isn't much of it that happens. And so there's almost no data about it, no trials. And so I had to find a doctor who was going to take a course of action that I felt comfortable with, given the fact that essentially there's no real data about the disease. I always say to people, I could get run over by a bus tomorrow, but this isn't gonna get me. I have a daughter that I wanna be there for, and I'm determined to be there for her. But when it came back, I immediately went for help. So I was in a meeting, I sat down and put my hands on my kind of jaws and I felt something here. I went right to my doctor, and within 3 days I was getting a needle biopsy, and they could immediately tell that my lymph node was full of melanin, and then I was back in treatment again. I think advocacy is important to me for a number of reasons. One, the rare melanomas just aren't sufficiently funded to get enough research so that we have more definitive treatment paths. So I think people with rare melanomas need to speak up more and advocate on behalf of that. Second reason is rare melanomas, when you have a rare melanoma, there aren't a lot of other people that have had it. So building a patient community of people who can talk to each other about their experiences and help each other through the journey, I think is really important. And then thirdly, just generally, I think the people who care for us have incredible jobs. They deal with hard situations day in and day out in order to save lives. And I think they deserve us advocating for them to get the resources they need to do their jobs. It can be scary. For me, it helped to take my journey with the people that were there for me and cared for me and loved me and supported me. And so I think I would say to people, if you're comfortable talking about it, you'll find that the community around you will embrace you. I used to say that I don't think it changed my life so significantly. I never had any regrets in my life. I lived life fully. I continue to live life fully. But when it came back the second time, I know I look at my daughter every day. I'm so happy that I can be with her. And just to really cherish the people around me and love as much as I can.
So I was having intermittent shooting pain in my left eye, probably for about 1 to 2 months. And I brought it up in passing to my therapist, and she was like, "That's your vision, Allie, like you need to get that checked out." So I went to an eye doctor the next day. They had no idea what was going on, but they saw some fluid behind my retina, so they sent me to a retina specialist. I wasn't even thinking it could be cancer, but they said, "Good news, it's not cancer, it's this other condition." And they were gonna do some eye injections that day, and then at the very last second, one of the doctors said, "You know what, let's get a second opinion." I went to New York City and saw a top ocular oncologist, and he diagnosed me about a week after I went to that first eye doctor. It definitely took time for, I think, the seriousness of it to really set in And I think it really took months and months of really allowing the diagnosis to set in and doing my own research to really understand the gravity of what I was diagnosed with. So in terms of my melanoma journey today, the tumor in my eye is essentially dead. It could recur in my eye, but the chances of that are very, very slim. I also get a CAT scan of my lung once a year and an MRI of my liver every 4 months just to make sure that the cancer hasn't spread, as those are the two places it tends to spread to. Advocacy to me is important for a few reasons. People need to know that they need these regular eye exams, the same way you need annual skin checks to make sure you don't have skin cancer. Advocacy is also super important to me because finding community has been so healing in my journey, and meeting other people, organizations forming to bring people together, having different events. I've been to a few different ocular melanoma related events, is really just a great way to meet other people and just feel less alone in your journey overall. So about a little over a year after I was diagnosed, I found out about a nonprofit called True North Trek, and they offer free treks in the wilderness, but they also have this beautiful home that you can sleep in for young adult cancer survivors. And so they had a wilderness trek for melanoma survivors. It was a 5-day retreat in Michigan in the Upper Peninsula, and they actually partnered that weekend with the Melanoma Research Foundation. I have so much gratitude for the Melanoma Research Foundation for what they do, the events they put on for cancer survivors, for the advocacy that they do, and so I'm so glad that I've been able to connect with them.
I'm from a very large family of fair-skinned people, and growing up, my mother was always trying to keep us out of the sun. She would keep an eye on us, put a t-shirt on us. So we knew about skin cancer and melanoma. In 2004, at the end of the summer, I noticed a strange pink spot on the palm of my hand. And I was lucky enough that there was a dermatologist parent of a kid in my daughter's class, and I showed it to her on the sidewalk. She's like, I don't think it's anything, but let's keep an eye on it. And after some time, that little spot on the palm of my hand started to give me lots of sensations. So Dr. Jackie Beer made a very big incision to remove this funny looking, colorless, raised spot on my hand. And the pathology came back that it was malignant melanoma. In 2017, when it metastasized to my lymph nodes, that was very upsetting, right? For it to metastasize after 12 years. And at the end of that year too, it had also then was in my brain as well. When someone faces a recurrence of any cancer, it's quite scary. It's very hard on caregivers, to be so afraid for you. And he's, I'm getting so emotional, but my husband's been just there for me, 100, 200%. Towards the end of last year, my oncologist, Dr. Janice Maynard, recommended me to a lead primary investigator to become a patient research advocate. And through that, I'm happy to be, helping the Metastasis Network with NCI, National Institutes of Health, and they're trying to figure out why does cancer metastasize and coming up with new ways to, maybe stop that process. We're still celebrating, actually. That was on May 29th of this year. My husband came with me because it's been a long journey for him. The staff, everybody there has just been so wonderful for these 7 years, so many people. So it was so great to ring that bell, even though, it may not be the end, and that's okay. But it's the first time I've been like, okay, maybe I can have a long break, and maybe it will be a break for forever. I don't know. I'm hopeful.